Has Sri Lanka become a Chinese colony? It's a question we've asked repeatedly on this show. Now, Sri Lankans themselves have been forced to ask this very same question. A slew of petitions have been filed in the country's Supreme Court. They raise concerns on how Sri Lanka's sovereignty is under threat from China. And all these petitions converge on one point: the Colombo Port City project and the powers conferred to China for building it. As the petitions over this port were being reviewed in the country's top court, a vessel en route China docked at the Hambantota port on Tuesday. What was the vessel carrying? Radioactive material.
This is the Hambantota port in Sri Lanka. In 2017, it was leased to China for a period of 99 years. There have been concerns on how Chinese presence here puts the stability of the Indian Ocean at risk. On Tuesday night, we got a trailer of how exactly. A vessel en route China docked at the Hambantota port for several hours. What was the vessel carrying? Uranium hexafluoride, a radioactive material used as fuel for nuclear weapons. Did Sri Lanka know about this? It did not. The ship reached the port without declaring its radioactive cargo. To add to that, the Sri Lankan Navy was not allowed to board the vessel for an inspection. The ship was asked to leave immediately. The full details of the incident are yet to emerge. But the timing could not have been more perfect. The Sri Lankan Supreme Court is currently reviewing petitions against a controversial legislation regarding the Chinese-backed Colombo port city. Who has filed these petitions? A wide range of people. They include lawyers, civil society groups, IT professionals, trade unions, opposition leaders, and religious bodies. They all say the same thing. The Colombo port city legislation violates Sri Lanka's sovereignty, its constitution, and labour rights. They want the legislation to be cleared by a two-thirds majority of the Lankan parliament, and by a referendum if it has to become a law. Here's what the root of the problem is. The legislation removes all discretionary powers of the Lankan regulators over the port. It mandates all investments at the port in foreign currency and not in Sri Lankan rupees. And lastly, it states that all disputes will be solved through arbitration and not through Sri Lankan courts. The petitioners say these clauses could eventually turn the port and Sri Lanka itself into a Chinese colony.
Apart from posing a threat to the country's sovereignty, this legislation aims at making our country a Chinese colony. We are not willing to allow Sri Lanka to become a Chinese colony. Once the port city is constructed, the entire western province will face challenges. We will then have to act according to their whims and fancies.
The writing is on the wall. The Colombo port city legislation undermines the sovereignty of the island nation. Only if the Rajapaksas could see beyond financial gain. Bureau Report WION World is One.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.